Now mostly dead, he's slightly alive now. All dead? Well, with all dead there's usually only one thing that you can do. What's that? Go through his clothes and look for loose change. Billy Crystal is a comedy legend known for his quick wit, impeccable timing, and unforgettable performances. From his stand-up career to his time on Saturday Night Live and starring roles in films like When Harry Met Sally, his ability to craft humor is unmatched. But one of his most memorable roles almost never existed in the way audiences now love it. In The Princess Bride, Crystal played Miracle Max, a grumpy old healer tasked with reviving the mostly dead Wesley. While his role was already scripted to be funny, Crystal's natural instinct for improv took it to another level, to the point where the entire set was in stitches. One seemingly minor addition, a simple line about a mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, completely changed his character, cementing Miracle Max as an icon of comedic cinema. The birth of an iconic character began when Billy Crystal was cast as Miracle Max. The role was already written to be humorous, but no one could have anticipated the transformation that would occur once Crystal got his hands on it. Director Rob Reiner, himself a longtime fan of improv comedy, gave Crystal a rare freedom on set, the chance to throw out the script and go completely off the cuff. It was a bold decision and one that would come with challenges, but the end result proved to be one of the funniest moments in the film. Crystal, an experienced stand-up comic with an extensive history of improv, immediately brought his own flair to the character. One of the biggest changes he made was in the look of Miracle Max. Rather than simply taking direction from the script and makeup team, Crystal gave detailed instructions to his makeup artist, Peter Montagna. He wanted Miracle Max to look like a mix between baseball manager Casey Stengel and his own grandmother. The result was a character who felt instantly lived in, a crotchety old man with a New York-inflected medieval sensibility. Billy Crystal's influence extended far beyond appearance. His comedic instincts led him to develop the personality of Miracle Max into something more eccentric and lively than originally scripted. He infused his lines with a distinctive rhythm and almost musical delivery that made each quip unpredictable. The character's sarcasm, exasperation, and deeply personal grudge against the king's stinking son all took shape through Crystal's improvisation. His performance was so fully realized that the cast and crew immediately knew they had something special. Even in rehearsals, his ad-libbed quips had everyone in stitches, setting the tone for what would become one of the most challenging yet rewarding scenes to shoot in the entire film. The scene in question was supposed to be a relatively quick one. Miracle Max, reluctant at first, agrees to help bring Wesley back to life. His grumbling banter with his wife, played by Carol Kane, was already written to be amusing, but once Crystal started riffing, it became impossible to contain the hilarity. Reiner, knowing his own tendency to laugh loudly, had to physically remove himself from the set because his outbursts were ruining takes. One of the film's most dramatic actors, Mandy Patinkin, who played Inigo Montoya, later revealed that he suffered his only injury on set during the filming of this scene, not from a sword fight or a stunt, but from holding back laughter so intensely he bruised a rib. The biggest challenge wasn't getting Crystal to be funny, it was getting through the scene without breaking down in laughter. Crystal delivered line after line of medieval-flavored jokes, many of them completely unplanned, and each funnier than the last. The sound department was forced to systematically remove crew members from the set, as nearly everyone was giggling or outright laughing at Crystal's performance. Even after clearing the set, maintaining composure proved nearly impossible. Cary Elwes, who played Wesley, was supposed to remain motionless through the scene, but he kept breaking character due to Crystal's relentless barrage of jokes. Eventually, they had to replace him with a rubber dummy in some shots because he simply couldn't hold his breath without laughing. Adding to the chaos, Carol Kane played off Crystal's improvisations seamlessly, escalating the scene's hilarity. Her exaggerated nagging and deadpan delivery provided the perfect foil for Crystal's rapid-fire jokes, making their on-screen chemistry even more electric. The result was pure comedic gold, though at the cost of countless ruined takes. The production team estimated that this single scene took nearly 30 hours of work, one of the longest shoots for any 5-minute sequence in the film. Of all the jokes Crystal made up on the spot, one line in particular became legendary. When discussing the importance of true love, Miracle Max utters the now-famous line, "Sonny, true love is the greatest thing in the world, except for a nice MLT, mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, where the mutton is nice and lean." It was a completely improvised line, one that wasn't in the script and no one saw coming. The absurdity of the statement, combined with Crystal's perfect delivery, made it an instant classic. The joke was so unexpected it derailed filming for hours as cast and crew struggled to contain their laughter. The single edition completely redefined Miracle Max's character. Instead of just being a grumpy old apothecary, he became something much more layered, a man whose mind could wander in bizarre directions at any given moment, making him more human and infinitely more entertaining. The line turned the scene into a truly iconic one, ensuring Miracle Max would be remembered long after the credits rolled. In hindsight, it's astonishing how much impact a single line can have. The MLT joke elevated the humor in the scene, making Max's eccentricity even more believable. It also added a unique signature to his character, something bizarrely specific that only someone like Miracle Max would say. Fans have since latched on to this moment, often quoting it as one of the most beloved lines from the film. Had Crystal not improvised that moment, Miracle Max might have been funny but not legendary. This offhand joke cemented his place in pop culture, proving sometimes the best moments in film come from allowing actors to follow their comedic instincts. While the final cut of The Princess Bride only includes a few minutes of Miracle Max's screen time, what audiences don't see is just how much footage had to be scrapped. So much of what Crystal improvised was so funny that entire takes had to be thrown out because no one could keep a straight face. Cary Elwes later wrote in his book about the making of the film that Crystal never delivered the same line twice. Every take was different, every joke fresh, and that made it impossible for his fellow actors to anticipate what he'd say next. The result was one of the most expensive scenes in the movie, simply because of the amount of film wasted on uncontrollable laughter. The MLT line was just one of many jokes that had the crew in stitches. Crystal riffed endlessly, coming up with new jokes about miracle work, medieval medicine, and ridiculous cures that never made it into the final cut. It got to the point where the production team had to find creative ways to shoot around the laughter just to salvage usable footage. Fans of The Princess Bride have long wished that this lost footage would be released. While some outtakes have surfaced over the years, much of Crystal's work remains unseen, a hidden gem of comedy that exists only in the memories of those lucky enough to be on set that day. Billy Crystal's comedic influence on Hollywood extends far beyond The Princess Bride. His work as a stand-up comedian, actor, and writer has influenced generations of performers. From his groundbreaking performances on SNL to hosting the Academy Awards multiple times, Crystal has been a fixture in Hollywood's comedic landscape. The Princess Bride has always been a beloved classic, but the character of Miracle Max has taken on a life of its own over the years. Fans continue to celebrate Billy Crystal's performance through reenactments, memes, and convention panels where cast members reminisce about the chaos on set. His iconic lines have become some of the most quoted in pop culture, whether it's the famous "Have fun storming the castle" or the legendary MLT joke. The character remains an enduring highlight of the film. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite line in The Princess Bride? Let us know in the comments section below.